I mean, look, like I'm a huge Brock Purdy fan. I mean, I love what he's done for the Niners, but you know, it's hard to say because when you're paying a guy 53 million a year, you're like, hey, that should be our difference maker. That's the guy that, like, hey, if he's healthy enough to go, he's going to get in the game. He's going to make a huge difference. But it seems like they're continually holding him out, saying, well, he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. And I get the idea of like, hey, he's got to be 100% in order to be effective. But there comes a point where you say, well, how long is long enough? I mean, right now on my show, I was predicting that he's probably going to come back against the Panthers. I don't think he comes back this week because why would you want to bring him back against the Rams, who have an elite pass rush and they're a really good team, and you're going to bring him back in a divisional matchup, a pivotal divisional matchup? Probably not. You're going to go with the guy who's been the starter for the majority of the season in Mac Jones. But I think if you're going to bring him back, probably not against Arizona because Arizona's got a pass rush now. They got Walter Nolan back. I would think the Panthers would be the game in which you say, okay, if we're going to bring him back, let's do it then.
I don't think they're going to bring him back this year. I think that this year is getting weird. The longer he stays out, the harder it is to bring him back because he's rusty. He's been out. And if Mac Jones were losing and struggling, then of course. But that's not the case. The team is winning, not because of Mac Jones, but he's not costing them games. He's healthy, and they have a rhythm. They believe in him. So it just seems easier to stick with this. And you can figure it out next year, like what to do at quarterback. But this year, as long as they keep winning, it's just easy to say Brock's just not quite healthy right now.
But is it because it's Brock? I mean, let me ask you this. If your quarterback, instead of Brock Purdy, if it was like Baker Mayfield, if it was Jared Goff, do you think he'd be back in the game already? Do you think he'd be a starter, that he'd be back from injury already?
I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know how injured he is. It's possible that he's just as injured as Joe Burrow, but instead of him having surgery, like both he and the Niners wanted to sort of control the narrative here, which the Niners are always about. Like, instead of, because you put him on IR, then all we talk about for 2 months is, boy, what a terrible contract. And the Niners really mismanaged this. And can you freaking believe that he's already injured? But now, instead of that, it's like, well, we don't really know what's happening. And I saw him on the field and he looked okay. And they say he's coming back soon. So I'm going to reserve judgment and not really say anything. Like, they're doing a good job of controlling the discourse around the injury and the team. Maybe that's what they want to do. Because it doesn't seem like.
Do you think it's worse than it
actually
really
getting
is?
closer? What's that?
Do you think his injury is worse than they're really reporting? Do you think it's something that's a little more devastating than they're letting on?
I mean, they're saying I just don't know what to think, man. I mean, he's not a full participant in practice, but he's been limited. It's like, usually if a guy's limited in practice, right, he's going to be playing that weekend or the weekend after. It usually means like he's about to come back. Ricky isn't limited. Ricky cannot practice, which is strange because this is what I see from Ricky on a day-to-day basis. Sprinting on the side of the field, running routes, like looking like he's just about to come back. And then in the locker room, they have a hoop, and a lot of players like to shoot. He's shooting jumpers. He's getting air. So I'm not saying that he's like being, negligent. He just looks healthy to me, but he can't practice at all. I don't understand that.
That's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Purdy, he's been limited for like 4 weeks. And I think that's why a lot of people feel like, well, next week he's coming back. He'll be back against the Cardinals. A lot of people felt he'd be back against the Rams, right? A couple weeks ago. No.
Yeah.
Hold him out. You don't want him on that That's what people said last week. You don't want him on that MetLife turf. He's probably ready to come back right now. Hold him off for that Rams game. And then it's Rams week. Is Brock coming back? Absolutely not. Not even, no closer to coming back. They say he is, but nothing's changed. So I don't know what to make of it, Dre. I really don't.
It's really odd, and the whole situation, it's a cloak and dagger. Like you have to read between the lines to figure out what's really going on, and that's the part that's kind of frustrating because it's kind of like, hey, look, if it's really bad, just be honest with us about how the severity of his injury, because this is going on for a long time. And now the only time we got to see him recently was week 4 against the Jags, and he looked awful. probably because he was not healthy enough to even be out there. But then there was that narrative of well, he was healthier than Mac. That's why he was out there.
That's what Kyle said.
Right. But then we find out that, oh, he wasn't healthier than Mac. He made the call saying, I want to come back. I think I'm good to go. And then realized probably within the first few plays, like, oh, shit, I'm nowhere near ready to come back because he looked awful. I'm sorry. Some of those throws were just, they were sailing high. They were inaccurate. And that's not how Brock usually plays.
But what did Kyle say after that? He said, like, we thought he looked fine. He practiced. He was a full participant in practice. We cleared him. We thought he was fine. Then he played and was awful even after the game. We were like, so that was really bad performance. Do you think the toe affected him? And Kyle was like, I don't know. We have to talk to him. So he wasn't willing to admit that the toe was a factor even afterward. And then they changed their story the next day. They were like, the toe was huge factor. And not only that, he re-injured the toe. And not only that, he's going to be out for a while. So it seems to me that, like, from Kyle's perspective, like, look, man, you fooled me once in practice. I thought you were ready. I thought you were good to go. You went out there and you cost us a game with 3 turnovers. So how can I trust my eyes now? So, one, I'm never going to really know if you're healthy. You'll have to tell me. 2, you got to remember, man, Mac was like Kyle's first love. Like Kyle spotted Mac. No one like set him up. It wasn't like a blind date. No one set him up. It wasn't like a friend saying you got to meet this person. Like Kyle spotted Mac from across the room. Their eyes locked. It was special. It was just between them. You know what I mean? And then people got in the way and they haven't been able to, come together the way that they were destined to. And it's finally happening. And I think it feels good for both of them. I think they're bringing out the best in each other. And I'm serious. Like, it's been great with Brock. And Brock was great. But it wasn't Kyle's guy. Kyle didn't handpick him. He was the savior that sort of saved everything. But was it sustainable? Was it sustainable or was he Cinderella? Like, he was great, but he's had injuries and he's had a tough time staying on the field. And if it's not his elbow, it's this, it is that. Max seems to be at least durable, and you know how Kyle feels about him. So I guess I'm not surprised that it's going this way right now.
Well, I think there's a reason why Kyle Shanahan, why the team acquired Mac Jones, because he wanted a capable backup quarterback like he had with Sam Darnold. And so, did he think that Brock was going to get hurt this year and be out for this long? No. But when he had his choice on who can we get as a backup, I think Mac Jones definitely appealed to Kyle Shanahan. He said, hey, look, this is the guy I wanted to draft. This is the guy I wanted to draft over Trey Lance. And we saw what happened to Trey Lance. I mean, the guy's still, unfortunately, he's still a journeyman. He hasn't gotten a chance to be a starter, where, I think he's in San Diego. But looking at Mac Jones, I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. At this point, he has more interceptions than Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy's only played in 2 games, but he has 4. That's another thing that's a little scary about Brock, is that the number of interceptions that he has in his last 12 starts, 14 starts. It's a little alarming. But my point is this: I think Mac Jones has done a great job. He's been a very suitable quarterback, but I don't see that dynamic ability from Mac Jones that tells me, hey, this is the guy you want to lock up long term. I think this is the guy that's going to get it done this season if Brock can't come back. But he's still limited in his mobility. He's still limited in some of his reads. But he's got a very strong arm. He's got a pretty accurate arm as well. And I think, to me, this feels more like a Jimmy Garoppolo type offense, but with a stronger arm. And I think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think he's playing a higher level of what they were trying to do back in 2019.
Yeah, I'd love to see I'd love to see Mac with like Ricky Pearsall for a month. I'd love to see Mac with Brandon Ayuk. I feel like we saw Mac in college with some serious premium burners on the outside.
He was big time in
won a
Alabama.
national championship. Yeah, absolutely.